Look who decided to join us on camera. It is Nikki. Welcome back, everybody. We are live once again. We had a little technical mishap and our previous live ended prematurely. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. We hate
Happens
premature
to all of
things.
us.
Happens to the best of us. But welcome back. We are talking about relationships and sex work. And we were just talking to Fairy, which I was hoping would give us a little tip and trick. Jason, thank you for coming back. Yeah, it stopped. Unfortunately, we had a technical mishap, but we're back. We are going to finish our show and talk about relationships and sex work. And one of the things that I think is really extremely important is practicing and implementing sexual safety. And
Yes,
by
sir.
sexual safety, I mean if you're having sex with multiple partners, making sure that you're getting tested regularly, making sure that you're using condoms, making sure that you're just practicing good sexual safety so that you can have, healthy sex with all your partners. So, that's one of my tips. Anybody want to expand on that?
I feel like it's very hit the point.
Yeah,
Hit it
for
right on the head.
sure.
It's very much true though, too.
How do you initiate? I was only in one situation where I guess it was polyamorous. It was. It was myself and my guy, not the one that I'm with now, but this was many, many years ago. And I was exploring my interest in females, and I don't know, I don't think I ever really saw anything long term with him, so I was okay with like the whole poly thing. I don't think I was really trying to be in a relationship at all, really, to be honest, like a long-term thing. But anyway, so we navigated the poly space, and it really just turned into me having like a bunch of girlfriends, which he hated. He saw
Ooh,
it he saw it as him being like the manly man, and he was gonna have all these girlfriends, but it turned out that they were because I had these rules, and that's something I want to talk about. I want to talk about some of the rules that you guys have when you're navigating a space with sex work and then a space with multiple partners. For me, my boundaries were no kissing. Um no kissing, like really kind of taking the intimacy out of their situations because I felt like that I wanted to have something that was ours. You know what I mean? And the
mhm.
kissing for me is very intimate. So there was no kissing. And communication went through me. At that time, things were a lot different because there weren't cell phones. And the third thing was I had to co-sign. If he brought a female in, we had to like vet them together, and I had to approve. And the same thing with anybody that I brought in, he had to like vet with me and approve. And of course, he approved all my girls. And I think I approved one of his, and she didn't last. She got jealous really fast. So, what would you say as far as sex work? Now, I've never been in a long term relationship while I've been in, except for now, but I quit doing any type of like hardcore and like having intercourse or any type of like relations with other men and really women too. Once I got into my relationship, prior to that, I actually stopped, but then I really made that strong decision. Welcome back, Fairy. I made that strong decision not to continue because I was making more money doing farts. It wasn't really like he's jealous and didn't want me to do it. I had already decided it wasn't for me. And so I can't say anything about sex work, but like as far as navigating multiple partners, my only rule was like not kissing. Does anybody have any? What are your boundaries? What are your rules? Fairy?
As far as to what?
Okay, well, we're going to try this again. We were doing this when the broadcast ended last time. tell us what type of relationship you're in, how long you've been in the relationship, and then you could tell us about navigating this space of having a relationship while you're doing sex work or sex education or just being involved in the adult lifestyle.
Okay. Well, hi. I'm Fairy. Um, I'm in a relationship. I have a boyfriend. We have been together for 6 years. It was 6 years in February. Um,
Yay.
Happy anniversary.
Navigating being a sex worker and being in a relationship is different because you have to consider your partner even though you still have a job to do. And with my job, I don't necessarily have to do it the way that I do. Like, sex education doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be on the internet in lingerie. For example, I can educate you and be fully clothed. I like to be half naked. And if my,
Slut. We
I
love
like to
our
honestly be
fairy sex
naked.
slut.
I like
And you're
to
sexy.
I like to show my skin. I'm a vibe, I have nice tattoos. So I like to just show off my skin, especially because I'm comfortable in my skin way more than I was before I got into a relationship. But and being mindful of my partner's feelings and knowing that I want that relationship to work, there are things that I have to be mindful of how I do them and what I'm doing it for. Am I doing it for attention? Am I doing it for money? Am I doing it for um my own personal gain, or am I doing this for like something special at hand? And if those questions can't get answered properly, then I need to reassess what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Because, of course, you can love what you do and be happy about what you do. But if you choose to be in a relationship with somebody and you choose to commit to somebody, then you're also choosing to respect them and respect their feelings and their boundaries. So
Good
I just got to be
answer.
mindful of those two things.
That is a really good answer. It takes a lot of trust. I mean, I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that just because we're involved in sex work that we're like super sluts out there fucking everyone, that we're easy, and that like we're
It's
having
really
these
hard to get in contact with us.
like like we're having these multiple conversations. Like I don't talk to my fans like that anymore. Like once I got into my relationship, I realized that those conversations, even though they're done under the umbrella of like I'm the performer and they're the fan, I cut them off because they're still misleading.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't make as much money, or maybe it has affected my business, but at the end of the day, that was his boundary. Like, how do I know you're not meeting up with this person? Or how do I know? And I was like, you got to trust me. But at the same time, I also felt icky about it. Like, I was like, this feels a little disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Because sometimes you can tell when it's just a fantasy. And then other times it's like, am I taking things a little too far?
Yeah, like, am I really playing into this person's fantasy, or am I sitting here like engaging with this because of some other mindset that I'm in? And it's,
Right.
I feel the same way. I don't engage with fans as much as I used to. I will want to sometimes, but it's just like if I do engage, I only engage from like this time to this time. Because once I turn my phone off and once that time is like done, it's literally dedicated to him and
That part.
our home and all that other kind of stuff. Because I just want him to know that he's just as special, if not more special, than my
Right.
job,
Well,
even
for
though it's
me
my job.
also, it that was one of his boundaries, was like when it's our time, not our time and their time. And that's really kind of why I disconnected from having like giving so much access of myself to my fans, because it would be 12:30 in the morning and
Hmm.
texts coming through and like all these things, and it's like, no, when I shut my phone off from this time to this time, that's his time. So you're just going to have to wait until tomorrow or whatever, whatever I become available. So Anybody have any input on that? Dang, it got quiet.
Create that space of
No, I understand what y'all saying.
like I think you do have to create that space of showing your partner that you are valuable, because a lot of times they might be dealing with their own personal insecurities, or they might be new to the whole sex work thing. So being able to create that space, like this is for you, like I think it's very important.
Well, I think it's also important to realize, like, I've dated a guy that was an exotic dancer, and I wasn't jealous of the women as long as he was on the job. What bothered me is when he would be texting and, conversing with them offset, like after hours. That to me was the part that I felt was disrespectful, because how do I know that you're not having relations with them, or that you're not entertaining a relationship? Or I felt like that was the boundary. Like when you're dancing and throwing your dick all over them in a in excuse me, when you're doing your thing, that doesn't bother me. Like, do what you do. It's the part where it's like the intimacy after the fact. And I feel like those private conversations are where it starts to become intimate. On the dance floor, shaking your bum, whatever. Like that's just, I've been to plenty of those like those male reviews, and I don't feel like there is any type of like connection, or I know that they're entertainers. But if I go backstage and you're, rubbing my head and, hey baby, like that's the part that I'm like, wait a minute. Mm-mm. That's taking things too far, because now you're creating either one, a intimate connection with that person, or two, you're falsely misleading them. And both are wrong to me, in my eyes. So I had to take a look at it from from his perspective once I brought him into my life, or we came into each other's lives, and I do entertain other men, realizing that, I have to also keep that into consideration. And when it's our time, like, okay, so for instance, for a long time, I would be like, cream pie me, give me that load, right? And then I'd be like, oh, give me the phone. I want to film the cream pie, right? And then one day he was like, no, that's ours. That's our moment. That's our time. That's my cum. You don't get to share that with
Yeah,
the fans. And so I was like, okay, no problem. But yeah, boundaries are very important.
we definitely have a lot of those. Like we have designated times where we film when we have not have to, because I don't necessarily have to, but the times where we film together, it's just like, okay, this much is going to be filmed. The rest of this, it's mine. Yeah, it's a
Azula,
lot of
Hi.
boundaries.
give us some info. You film with your partners, correct?
Yes.
So do you guys have any boundaries in terms of when you're filming, like where you draw the line between the fantasy, the filming, the partnership, the intimacy? Like how do you navigate through those, different spaces?
Whew. All right. So oftentimes if we're like having sex and my camera is not accessible or something like that, or if I do not set up the lighting, that to me means that's like we are having sex. We are not filming. Um, Not too often, unless I've already discussed it with them prior, like, oh, I need more cream pie scenes or I need more of this. Um, I I don't really ever bring out the camera randomly unless I've already like disclosed that I was going to do that. Because they have to have their consent to want to be filmed in that moment as well. And while we generally have consent 24/7 to be filmed, I still like to make sure that is okay. Um, So unless because I don't like low lighting, I don't like a lot of low lighting videos, and I have a camera, or like a phone, so my quality is always going to be a lot lower. So I don't really like to use like just like I like to have a setup, and that's kind of like the difference where I actually have a lot more sex like off screen than on, and because of it, and it's actually quite nice because like my partners, they're so into me, and because we are always flirting in group chats and like talking and stuff like that, we always have like a nice witty banter going on. We're always like giving each other eyes, we're always flirting and keeping each other engaged throughout the day, that like our sex stuff is always random. I'm getting bent over in the kitchen, or like my feet hurt. Next thing I know, we're making out and we're about to like boink, like it's just kind of how that goes. That there ain't time to pull out a camera. So sometimes I'd be like, damn, we could have filmed that. And we're like, yeah, but it's awesome. Like, and sometimes like we're like, oh, and I was like, or I'll be like, damn, I was supposed to film a video with you for the fans, and we just wasted a bunch of cum. And they're like, oh yeah, whoops. So there's always that. So I feel like I'm more irresponsible in that regard. But what I try to do is like we'll take like a week or so, like 2 weeks, where we like crank out content after content after content. So this way it's there. So this way we don't have to worry about it later. And then we just redo it again every couple months, where it's like, okay, we have to like that. This usually happens around Halloween time, because I'm like, it's Pornoween, get all the cosplays out, we buy all the cosplays, and then we do all these like videos, and then we're like, oof, we're exhausted, let's not do that again for a while, and then we don't do it again until like a little bit like right before Christmas, we cram in something there, and then we don't do anything again until like Valentine's Day. So it's like every like 2-ish months we like make a new video that we're like, okay, this is when we're gonna release it, but we have all these other backup videos as well.
Missy,
Yes.
will you still do gangbangs if you're in a relationship?
Fuck yeah.
That's why I love it. She's like the fucking GB. That's all I hear about. That's what I'm talking about. So we talked about some things that we like. What is one, and I'll start with mine and then we can just go around. What is one pet peeve? What is one thing that just irks you to no end? For me, I am huge on hygiene. I can't stand a smelly, dirty, don't wash your clothes, don't brush your teeth, I need you to smell good. I need you to look good. I need your fingernails to be clean. Like, that's my pet peeve, hygiene. Missy, pet peeve.
So obviously hygiene, because if your dick stank, I don't want it.
True facts.
But
got mushrooms growing out of it.
My other pet peeve would have to
Moldy.
be like a lack of communication.
Mm.
Like if you're not willing to communicate with me, if you're not willing to like work with me to figure out what the best flow is, then I don't want to have to do with it.
I agree. Nikki?
I hit a line, motherfucker. Ooh. Lord.
Just
that
one.
right there.
Just, you said a line, motherfucker?
A line, motherfucker. Oh.
Ooh.
But I also don't like people who like bite their nails all the way down. Like, don't touch me. That make I'd be like, no. It's like you got to bite your nails all the way to the skin. Like, what is wrong with you? Keep those fingers to yourself, sir.
Your nubs.
Girl.
That's why I started doing my nails.
And then you think you're gonna play in some coochie with them fingers? No, sir. No, you will not.
That's the best, because he ain't got no nails that are gonna scratch
Girl,
you.
but do you see how they be looking?
He got extra nubs, extra nubby.
Oh God, I make
Shit.
right now.
Oh, flavor.
I'm gonna scratch your pussy, and then you'll think differently.
No,
You'll be like, then I'm gonna spray it with peroxide. Then I'm put alcohol on it, and then
Very
some
stop
Neosporin.
with those things.
So you're gonna torture me, is what you saying? Oh, okay.
Sounds like a
See?
plan.
See?
Giggles,
Get some coochie from me. See?
giggles. What's your pet peeve?
Bro, she said
Um,
she gonna put alcohol on her pussy. Wait a minute now.
you can't say that
After
in front of Fairy Sex Mother. She about to educate us.
after she scratch it.
I
I'm
said
done.
peroxide first to get out any type of bacteria, alcohol to kill it, and Neosporin to keep it protected with a Band-Aid.
That's okay. You won't get none from me.
Question: are we talking about in between the labias, or we talking about like the outer vulva, like where the poom poom hair grows?
Fairy, cut it out. Cut it out.
Because
I'm gonna scratch your pussy. Don't worry.
I just want to know how bad this was gonna sting. Because you know the inside is gonna sting, but the
Well,
outside is gonna be like
Interesting.
but the inside gonna be like God damn, like
giggles. What's your pet peeve?
okay.
So hygiene, but then also dishonesty.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't lie to me about something, especially if I know already and I ask you, hoping that you're gonna be honest with me, and you lie to me. It's gonna be on the popping.
Y'all be saying yourself up for the kill. If I already know, I ain't asking you shit. Yeah, I'm gonna holler at you, big dog, because I know. Nah.
That's why I'm scratching your pussy.
Ooh.
Meow.
And when I snatch them edges, don't be mad.
Gotta get to him first. But anyways, Azula, pet peeve.
Well, y'all, pretty much a lot of y'all said are a bunch of my pet peeves. So let me go a different route. Because if you lie to me, it's it. But being one way with me and being another way with another person where it's contradicting who you are, that is something that will drive me insane because I'll be like, who are you really? And I don't mean like code switching or, adapting or masking. That's not what I mean. I mean like you say that you don't like one thing with me, but then you with so and so, and now, oh, you like it. That'll make me question everything you've ever done, and I'll never trust you. So it goes into that trust thing.
Yeah, I could see that. It's like you being like, I hate sports, and then you go date someone else, or you're like hanging out with someone else, and now all of a sudden you're like, go football, and you're like,
Yes,
wait a minute.
exactly. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, so yeah.
Fairy, what is your pet peeve?
Well, back in my day, I'm just playing.
Little young ass talking about back in my day.
Right. I think all y'all said the same things that I would say. But I think like another thing that I hate is repeating myself. And I don't mean repeating myself like, it's gonna take a hot second for you to remember my birthday. And my favorite color is not the color I have in my closet. But excuse me, if I sit there and I tell you like something super serious and I'm coming to you being like, hey, dinga dinga, danga day. And you go day, dinga dinga, bitch, what the fuck?
That was funny, but the way he said bitch just threw me out.
It's just like, did you not hear what I just said? And then it'll piss me off more if after I tell you it, you go back and then just do the complete opposite. Now you want to die. Like, why do you want to do this to yourself?
Damn.
So yeah, repeating myself is the
It's a
ghetto.
dub.
Oh yes, it's the ghetto. Because now I feel like you're not listening to me. And if you're not listening to me because I talk too much, I just feel offended. And now you triggering me.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I feel that in my soul.
You know?
Or like you tell somebody something and then it comes up again and they act like they don't remember the conversation. You be like, what? And then they're mad about it again. And you're like, wait a minute. We had this conversation. We talked about this. You already yelled at me about this. You already told me how you feel. How do I know this is how you feel if you didn't tell me? And then you're acting like you've got amnesia.
Yeah, that like willful, that like willfully absent-mindedness because it's like you didn't care enough to retain it.
I don't even think that it's that you don't care enough to retain it. I think some people do it as like a manipulation tactic, like they need to be mad about it again. So rather than being like, I'm still mad about that, it's easier to be like, oh, we never talked about that. This is the first I'm hearing about it. So now I can be mad. I can be mad. Like,
Oh
no,
my gosh, yes, do not use another situation just to gas a totally different argument, because now at that point you nitpicking and you just picking a reason just to fuss with me, and I dead ass will shut down. Like, no, that's just rude.
I agree. I agree. So, one of the things that I do want to say is there is a misconception that being in sex work means that you can't have a healthy relationship. That is bullshit. That is a lie. That is definitely not true. Um, I feel like people in general right now are struggling in relationships because one, we are not taught to be comfortable with ourselves. We are not taught to learn ourselves. We are not taught to love ourselves. And because we struggle through life trying to just figure out the love for ourselves, it makes it difficult to love other people or to be loved. So we're in a time right now where I feel like it's imperative that one of the things that we should be learning in school as children is to love ourselves and to be confident and to accept people as they are, with disabilities, with skin color changes and different cultural backgrounds, sexual preferences, gender identification. I feel like it is important to not push a narrative. I don't like the whole like teaching, like I don't want to say don't like it, but I think that I feel like each person should learn it when it's time, but to teach people to just love. And
Facts.
one of the things that I feel is disturbing, in some schools, you can't learn about transgender, non-binary, and homosexuality, but in other schools, they're like shoving it down the kids' throats, and it's super confusing. I feel like as a person in the world, you should know that there are different choices that you can make, and we should just be accepting of those things. That what you eat don't make me shit, so what difference does it make? You know what I mean? That's how I feel about like gay marriage and interracial marriages and all that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like people can just do what the fuck they want to do. It has zero effect on me.
Zero
Zero.
fucks given.
What does a gay couple getting married, what does that do to me? Nothing. They're not in my house.
Billy and Bob are happy.
Right. Who raises a kid? Who cares?
I don't even
Just
have a B in my name. Why do I give?
right. It's like, oh, one of the, like, when I was growing up, I had a girlfriend that was Pentecostal or whatever, and she always had to wear like the long skirts and stuff. And people used to make fun of her. And I would be like, I don't give a shit. My first best friend was multicultural. I had no idea. No idea. It wasn't until later that I was like, oh, okay. I just liked her. I thought she was cool. We made a TV out of a cardboard box, and it had a fake remote
Vibes.
control. We used coloring book pages as the screen of the TV. It never dawned on me until later in life that I was like, oh, okay. And I appreciate that I had that life growing up, because it taught me to be very accepting of people no matter where they come from, or what they do, or who they fuck, or who they date, or marry, or whatever. Like, just do you, boo. But that's something I feel like we should be teaching. And going back to relationships, people need to learn to love themselves. And that way you'll be able to love someone else wholeheartedly, and they'll be able to love you. So love yourself first.
I heart BBW.
And I heart BBWs. That was a great segue, Fairy. You're really coming after my heart.
Hey.
May the fourth be with you. Oh, and now it's Cinco de Mayo. Yay. Everybody take a shot.
Shoot, I'm trying to eat some Mexican food and drink some tequila.
Dude, I am gonna watch that taco place tomorrow.
My partner graduates tomorrow, so I think that's where we're getting food at, is Mexican food.
Whoop, whoop.
Congratulations.
I know, I'm so proud of him. He did a very weird approach to school. He did all of this. He paid for it out of pocket on his own, but it took him like 10 plus years to do it because since he was paying for it out of pocket, he would only take one class a semester, and he
Ooh.
just finished
When did he graduate? I mean, like, what did he get a bachelor's, an associate?
communications,
Oh, that's dope.
and he has no student debt, and he's like so proud of it. He's like, I paid for it all on my own, and I'm like, I'm so proud of him.
I'm not mad at him because this $80K I gotta pay after I get finished with my master's.
God.
He said, I played the
sucks.
long game. All his friends were like, you're dumb. You're taking too long. And he was like,
Look, his credit score is amazing.
it really is. Because we just moved into a new apartment and it is good. So
That's dope. So if we haven't learned anything else today, you can be a sex worker. You can have a really healthy relationship. You can
love.
have multiple relationships. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
You can be a whore with the man at your door.
damn right.
Who got a whore at their door?
With multiple men at your doors.
Or women.
Yep.
You can be a whore with the person at the door.
You damn
Thank
right.
you. Thank
Damn straight.
you. I can't stand.
Fairy ass crazy.
We love
I
Fairy.
know. We do.
I love Fairy too.
I heart BBW.
Yeah. We know you do.
God damn it, Fairy.
Are we doing
I'm
half
cleaning the
hearts
heart,
today?
Fairy.
Oh wait.
No, we gotta do
if
whole
if
heart.
I take
Wait,
my
I'll
turn.
do the.
We don't do anything half-assed around here.
Oh damn! Hold up. Okay.
There
Wait.
you go.
Do I gotta move?
Yes.
How do I?
You got it, babe. You got it.
You got it. For anybody who's watching, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Also, go to our playlist, iHeart BBW TV. Just let it play. We need those hours. If you have any questions about relationships, about anything that we discussed in either of these two lives, or you just want to individually, address a question about my monogamous business relationship, I'm going to expand on that a little bit more before we get off, and then we'll head out of here. But yeah, just drop those questions in the comments. We'll be happy to answer them in one of our future lives. We will be talking a lot more about relationships because one of the other aspects that we didn't talk about tonight was family relationships in sex work. And
Boy,
Oh God, I got tea for that one.
I need tissue
Right.
for that because
Yeah.
we discussing trauma at this point.
Yeah, same. And yeah, I got disowned by most of my family, so there's
Gang,
that.
gang.
I will give you all virtual hugs during that live.
Shout out
Yes.
to all the dishomed homies.
Yeah, the disowned homies. That should be the name of our we should start a support group. Disowned hoes. Disowned hoes.
Drop on the clues, but darn, Rooker disowned hoes.
Yeah. A lot of my family won't have anything to do with me. It started when I had my daughter, who, is a multicultural baby. And then from there, when I started doing sex work, more people jumped on the boat and they were like, we don't want you in our family. And I'm like, too bad. Whether you disown me or not, I still got your DNA, motherfucker.
Hey.
And I'm still going to procreate. And now my daughter has 4 kids and they're multicultural. And so our little tribe is just making my whole family want to just.
Hey.
They're beautiful. Yeah,
They are beautiful, no matter what they
say.
Words can bring you down.
At least we're gonna sing. We gotta sing it together.
Going a totally different direction, but okay.
Yes.
Don't you bring me down.
So, anyways, I have a business relationship marriage. So basically, our main focus is not feelings and emotions. Our main focus is that we're a partnership and we're building a life together with not necessarily about money, but being independent partners. Not like we don't do like the whole like united bank account thing, and we don't have like everything in each other's names. You know what I mean? Like a normal, everything is individual, and that's just independence so that one of his, so let me just give you this. One of the things that he did for me that totally just meant so much to me was one Valentine's Day while everyone else is getting flowers and candy and going on these really cool dates. He went and took me to register my business with the state and was like, I want you to have a legitimate business so that you can manage your business stuff that you do as a legitimate business. And I was like,
Get it.
right.
As he should. That was awesome. I
That
mean,
was very awesome.
That's
And
awesome.
for me, I was like, okay. And he was like, I want you to be independent without me. Like, it's great that we can be partners in life together, but I want you to be self-sufficient. So if anything ever happens to me, you're not devastated and stuck looking stupid and then, trying to survive. Meanwhile, there's nothing he can do because he's not here or, whatever happens. So he was like, I want you to be independent. And I think that's one of the things that's really helped us thrive in our relationship is that I do my thing, he does his thing, and then there's what we do together. And so that's why I call it a business relationship partnership, type thing. Like all that other stuff doesn't matter at the end of the day. I know that we do have feelings, we do have emotions, but that's not what fuels our bond. You know what I mean? Our mutual respect for that partnership is what fuels the bond, and everything else is just added bonus. So there's that. And on that note, I think we're all ready to like head on out. We gave the hearts. We finished our show. Thank you guys for coming back and watching the second edition after our first one was canked. Because people wanted to play. So put your hearts in the air. If you're out in the audience, we want you to put your hearts up also and tweet us. Make sure you hashtag IHeartBBW Live. Make sure you're following us on social media, IHeartBBWCOM. Follow all of us. It's in our little, hold on. How do we get those back up there? Oh, no, not me. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. All of our information is in those little bubbles. Please follow all of us and tweet us your heart. We want to see your heart, and make sure you drop your questions, comments, all that in the comments. Subscribe to us and go watch our playlist. And then make sure that you tune into our next show, which I'm not sure which one it is, but we have a whole bunch of them that we are rescheduling after we came back from Exotica and things got crazy because we was tired. We was some very tired people, and some of us were sick. But anyways, on that note, we will see you at our next live. Thank you so much for watching, and tell somebody you love them today. Yes.
Yes.
Love you
Mwah.
all.
Yay.